Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we make custom anodized aluminum tags for equipment. Most of the industrial tags we do here at CNCKing.com are actually anodized aluminum or stainless steel. A lot of the stuff that we have to do with customers are in the food industry or that kind of stuff, and they have lots of washdowns and those kind of issues to contend with. And any other material other than stainless steel or anodized aluminum tends to wear out. It can cause contamination. There could be other issues with it. So that's why this is a great material to work with. The thickness of this is basically the thickness of half of a credit card or a sheet of paper. So it's really, really thin, 0.02 inches. And in this case you have red, and in this case we have black. But regardless of the color of the anodization, we can also get that custom done as well, depending on the volume. Regardless of the color, it's always an off-white engraving from the laser. The laser we use for that is a CO2, but sometimes we also do use the fiber. So in this case here, this is done with the fiber, and this is done with the laser. So this is CO2, this is fiber. You can't tell the difference, and that's basically the way it is. This job is actually pretty laser intensive. In this case here, we're using a 2 kilowatt laser, fiber laser, and it's cutting the anodized aluminum. The aluminum is really thin. We don't need anything thick because it's going flat with liquid nails right against the control panel or caulking, whatever the customer ends up using. And as a result, we don't really care too much about the scratch on the underside too. That's why there's nothing there protecting it. And you also notice the sheet likes to bend as it's being cut. But that's just because the nesting is so tight on this that you'll notice there's not much stuff in the way to hold it up. Now on the black anodized aluminum sheet, you'll notice there's a bit of a dimple there. And that happens with anodized aluminum, just carrying it and so forth, especially at this thickness. And what we end up doing generally is just pretend like it's not even there. And I gotta make extra tags anyways. So just ignore it, make a whole bunch of tags. After the tags are done, the tags that are affected by the dimple that you see there, not a problem. Those ones right away are just thrown out or actually put in the recycling bin, and the rest are pretty good. I always make extra of all of these tags because I found out with production sometimes your jig shifts or what have you. A lot of little things can happen with the engraving side of this, and a lot of things can also happen during the cutting process. The sheet can move a little bit right mid-production as you're removing parts and stuff that fall through. And sometimes that little shift of a couple of degrees, you don't notice till you're in the shop and you're engraving all of them, and then you notice the fit is not proper into the jig that I make to do this kind of work. So it's always good to have extras of everything. That's what I've found in the past. Now what's happening here is the anodized aluminum sheet here, I believe it's 0.015 inches, and the red was the same thickness. The difference is this sheet here, we're cutting a lot of little pieces, and you'll notice there's a lot more support material around the tags. That's why you don't see the sheet bending as much, but you'll notice later on that it does bend quite a bit as, we basically just put a whole bunch of holes through it. It ends up looking like Swiss cheese, but that means there's very little wasted material, and that works out perfect. Now in this case here, just mentioning, camera is moving on you. The camera just happened to move on me and I didn't get a good angle for the engraving, but that's actually kind of worked out because the focus of the camera was on the Lego instead of what I was engraving, and came out pretty sharp. Now for these tags here, each one is completely different. They all have different information, and as a result, you just tell the laser, okay, make all of these tags here. Here's the information that the customer approved, and it just engraves them. So if you notice, every one of these things are done essentially one at a time. So that means we can offer complete customization throughout the whole production cycle. Now I do enough of this kind of stuff that I have actually some inventory in the shop along with some other materials. And the reason for that is because a lot of our customers say, we got a week, we need about 20 of these things, be a different shape, what have you, different engraving, and they need it now. So then we can do it right away instead of waiting a week or two for the anodizer to get around to get us the sheets that we need, and so on and so forth. Another application we do a lot of this kind of stuff is actually vineyard tags. So if they want to indicate the row, the kind of, not vegetable, the kind of wine they're growing on that row and so forth. Anodized aluminum is wonderful for that. It could be outside, it's not affected by the environment, not affected by heat, temperature, direct sunlight, all these kind of things have no effect on it. Unlike, let's say, lamacoid. Another option other than anodized aluminum, again, would be stainless steel. that we fiber laser etch, so that's a permanent process as well. And it's just as great outdoors, basically in any environment you can imagine. So if we're looking for custom tags, regardless of the size, the shape, material, the color that you want, contact me at CNCKing.com. We'll make it for you and ship it right to your door.